Move on to our next story that we've got for you. After being frustrated and not being able to attend football matches due to lockdown, two friends decided to talk about Watford FC in the podcast instead. Now 1 year on, the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast has over 50 episodes up for grabs and has featured guests such as the amazing Luther Blissett, Peter Taylor, Helen Ward, and me. Hosts Justin Beattie and Carl James can join me on the line now. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. If I could start with you first of all, Justin, did you think you would be doing this for a whole year?
No, not really. I didn't really know what we were going to do with it. We just thought we'd give it a go, and it's grown. It's been quite incredible, really.
And Carl, the first ever episode, was it just you two moaning about how bad we were doing?
It still is. Yeah.
And people are listening all around the world, Carl, aren't they?
Yeah, 52 countries now. So yeah, we're really pleased with that. It's gone bigger and better than we ever hoped.
And Justin, the great thing about it is it's kind of like you're just being honest, but you're not being rude. You're not being offensive. You're just saying as it is as fans when we're standing there watching it.
Well, that's the idea, yeah. It's supposed to really be a bit of a sort of a post-match debrief in a pub, the sort of thing that friends would say after a game. They'd call out the bad things, they'd praise the good things, and if we're going through a bad patch, we moan about it, and if we're doing well, we praise it. It's just being honest, really.
Why do you think it has become so successful, Justin?
I really don't know. I think a lot of people have told us it's because we don't take ourselves seriously, because we sometimes veer off onto other topics, and apparently we're quite amusing. So that's what we're told anyway. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Now, Carl, you have great guests. Like, you get some real good ex-footballers on, don't you? Who have you had on?
Well, we've had loads now, but like you say, you touched on Luther Blissett. We've had Gifter Noel Williams. Jay Demerit joined us all the way from California. And with Tommy Hoban recently we've spoken to, and we're trying to get more. But it's literally a case of me barraging them on social media until they give in and join us. And
what I like about it is they don't toe the party line and go, okay, it's brilliant, it's amazing. They are quite honest and open about how bad things are, or where they think it's going wrong or where it's going right, aren't they?
Yeah. As Justin said, it's a bit like meeting people in a pub and having a conversation. We almost forget sometimes that they are ex-Watford players or ex-footballers, and I think that's what kind of gives it that little bit something extra.
And do you find though, right? Because in the world I live in, you meet the odd showbiz and there's no problem at all. But when you meet someone that you've idolised and suddenly you're speaking to them, is it a bit nerve-wracking?
Can be.
Well, it is, but it's also quite nice. We spoke to Richard Johnson, and it was just like having a drink with him. It was just literally like sitting down and having a chat with him. It was so nice. So it depends who you get on, really.
Okay. I know this is going to be a bit of an awkward question, Justin, and I'll throw it to you as well, Carl, considering that I've been on. But who's been your favourite guests?
Apart from yourself, Andy? I don't know. As I say, Jono was really, really good. There's a local rapper called Genesis Elijah, who's never been to a Watford match before, but he's very sort of synonymous with Watford. So we got him on, and he was absolutely brilliant. He's now going to come with us to the Southampton game on Saturday.
Is he really?
He is, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. You're going to be showing him around and saying, right, this is the person who's really good, watch this person, and being his expert, are you?
That's the idea, yeah.
That's the idea. I mean, he's 40 years of age, so he never been to a football game, so it's going to be a real experience for him and for us, to show him around the Vic and introduce him to a few of the locals, especially Dave, the programme seller down Vicarage Road.
Yeah. And treat him to a bit of curry and chips as well, and the cauliflower and cheese pie as well. That'd be it.
That's it.
It'd be an experience for him. Now, listen, lads, to be honest with you, every time you get me on, I've been on twice. I had a little bit of a rant and a rave. The following game we won 6-1, because I know you touched on it the last time we chatted. I was only on the podcast the other week. I had a proper meltdown moment, and it was very good to vent and let it go. And then we go and win 5-2 against Everton.
Well, next time we're on a losing streak, mate, we'll get you back on.
What do you make of the Tinker Man then, now that he's been there for a couple of weeks?
Carl?
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go with that. I think, to be fair, after the Liverpool game, I was in a bad way. I was in a bad shape. But after the Everton game, you know, I think he could be the man to push us on this season.
Justin?
Yeah, I agree. I think after that display on Saturday, it can only get better. We can only do really well now.
I will just say this. I knew he was good when he substituted Sarr off. Because no one does that. No one's done that in the past. And all of a sudden we're taking it. And I thought, yeah, you are. You're saying to everybody, I'm the boss. I'm calling the shots. And then we go on to win the game brilliantly. Sarr hopefully will be inspired by that, motivated by that, and play a little bit better. What are the plans going forward, lads?
More of the same, really. More guests. Just keep going, really. We're enjoying it. So whilst we're enjoying it, we're going to carry on doing it, I think.
I think the dream for me would be to actually do a live one, because a lot of our stuff is done via Zoom. So actually to be sitting down in front of somebody to do it, that's the dream.
I got to say, I think doing live would be amazing. Terrifying, but it would be amazing. Who's on the dream list? Who do you want to get?
Tommy Mooney's on the dream list. Elton John. If anyone can get us Elton John, that'd be fantastic.
You again.
Well done. You got there eventually. You never know, mate. They're all listening. You never know. I'll have a word with Tommy. I do know him. I'll see if I can get him on for you. Lads, if people want to find out more about it and listen to the podcast, where do they need to go?
Carl?
So if you go to, we've got the Facebook, which is the DNSYE podcast. If you follow us on there, we're on Instagram as well under the same address, and we have a YouTube channel which basically follows me around the country, watching Watford, drinking beer, eating pies, and generally enjoying myself.
It's the best.
And
show.
the podcast is on every single platform that you can think of where you can get a podcast.
Lads, I can't tell you how good it is. It really is. I love the fact that you do little clips and you put them out there and you've made me into a cartoon. I look quite hot as a cartoon. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Well, you can thank our friend Peter from New Orleans TV. He's the guy who does the cartoons.
Did a great job. Lads, I really do enjoy the podcast. I wish you all the very best with it for the future. And thank you once again for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you, Andy.
Cheers,
Absolute
lads.
pleasure, Andy. Cheers.
Come on, you Hornets. Speak to you later. Go on. That was Justin Beattie and Carl James there, who are basically two gentlemen who just got together. Thought, you know what, should we have a little chat about Watford and put together a podcast? And it's been ever so successful. It's called Do Not Scratch Your Eyes. They've done over 50 episodes. Check it out. Have a listen. They don't just do football. They have a laugh and a giggle as well.